Everyone, Paul here. Today I'm going to be looking at a pretty powerful strategy. This is involving the linear line regression with another strategy. I've talked about this for the last couple videos with different assets, but today we're going to be looking at gold and how you can use this strategy, find better strategies with gold. Now, gold is one where if you understand direction, you could end up making a lot. Now, personally, in my own opinion, the longer you go out in time frames, the better your result will be. It all depends on assets, what asset you're doing. But for the most part, focusing on the day and finding it on the longer time frames will give you better results. When you do this, you don't have to do this every day, but if you do want to make that profit on an intraday level, you do have to go down to smaller time frames. But I always look at the day first, and I make my judgment based off of that. And if I don't find any signals on the day, then I'll go down and like the 6 hour, and I'll go down from there and see if I find any signals from there. But the shortest time frame that I do with this strategy is the hour. And once you see this strategy, it works pretty effectively. It helps you really understand the direction of where everything's going. So let me show you how to set it up, and we'll look at gold, and we'll see how much potentially you can do by setting up this two-step indicator and focusing on longer time frames. Okay, so to set up the strategy, first we're going to look at this gold on the day here. And we want to set up our linear regression candles. I think I've made videos about it. My previous videos, I've gone over this with different assets, but definitely want to set up your linear regression. So for the first thing, you want to go here. You want to go to linear. You want to go and search for linear regression candles. That's this top one right there. Now, what you want to do is once you get it, you're going to want to hide your regular candles, and basically I change the colors, but you make sure you have your plot line, and make sure it's a bright color, something that you can see, something that stands out, and the amount of thickness as well. But I just keep it down on the lower level there. But anyway, once you have that set up, it's going to look like this. And then the next indicator you need is your OBV MACD indicator, and you just go and search. I'll show you the default OBV. It's the OBV MAC indicator by Raphael. You want to click that one. And once you have that one, you want to change the settings. At least this is what I do. First off, your plot line, I make it a bright color that stands out. And then your plot line right here, your blue is basically your bullish, so I make it with a bright green. And I turn up all the opacity. And then you got your bearish, and make it bright red, and I turn up the opacity. I also turn down the thickness, and then it looks exactly like it does there at the top. So that's how I set it up. So basically what you want to look for with this strategy is you want to start with the longest time frame that you can, like the day. But for this video, I'm going to go to day, but I want to real quickly show you week. I want to show you week because I want you guys to, first thing, if you guys want to do this strategy, I want you to browse on week and just get a general idea of it. And, if you see this happening on the week, then definitely, you definitely be having a very long trade coming if you find this on the week. And what you want to do, what you want to look for on the week is the linear line and the MACD has got to be crossing at exactly the same time. So it has to go from up to down or down to up, and you have to see it happening. So you see that happen right here. So if you see it happen on the weekly, it's definitely a grab position for me. It's definitely something that might be going on for a long time. So if you see this right here, you see it right here, which was March 4th. This is when it started, and you could have just entered here and rode the entire thing out until it touched the linear line again. And you could have rode this out for 84 days, and you could have made some serious profit. This is 354,000 pips in 84 days. So I'm not really going to go too much more into that. It doesn't happen a lot. You do have to wait a while for this to happen to see it. So just the first thing, if you want to trade gold, just look at it on the weekly, and you'll have a better idea of which direction everything's going as well. But first things first, look at it on the weekly. If it's not crossing, then check it on the day. You see that happen again right here. You see it crossing right here. See, the longer you go in the time frame, the more when it's crossing that they match. The linear regression candles and the MACD should be matching each other at exactly the same time. And if they're matching each other, it's a good trade. If they're not matching each other, it's not a good trade. It'll either lead up into a trade that's not going to be going on long, or it's consolidation or something like that. It won't be a long, good trade. So that's how you know. And you see this moment right here as well. And this one was October 20, so it doesn't happen a lot. But you ride this out until it touches the linear line again. And this one's 165,000 pips. So, and you see it happens again. Happens again right here. So this would have been another monster trade here. If you see it happen right here. This one was November 21st of, like a long time ago. It was a long time ago. But you would have made some serious profit. So first things first with this strategy, definitely check on the weekly and see where it's going. Make sure if you see it crossing at exactly the same time, it is a very good signal that it's going to start going in that direction. So I just want to point that out because I may not bring it up. But by default, I try doing it on the day. The day seems to be a pretty good one. Same thing you want to look for. You want to look for a match. You want to look for a match in the charts. Now, gold is very volatile because it's like one of the top assets out there. So it is very volatile. So you got to keep that in mind. So you see a cross right here. This one lasted for just a little bit. This was a 25,000 pip move. And then you see it crossing down right here. So you see it happening at exactly the same time. So you know that this is a pretty good trade. You ride it out till it starts touching the linear line again. So right about here. This is a 76,000 pip move. So, do your lot size accordingly. Then we see a cross right here. The candles are above the linear line, and we see it crossing on the MACD. This is another good trade if you ride this one out till it touches the linear line, which is right about here. This is a 102,645 pip move in 14 days. So, use your lot size accordingly. So, right here is, we're not seeing it cross on the MACD, but we see it. This is a retracement right here, so there's not two confirmations in this trade. So, but it's a retracement, so it's still a good trade. You just don't have the double confirmation because this one is an 83,000 pip move. Now let's look at this one right here. Well, this one you only have one confirmation with this one right here, and you can ride this one out from here, but you don't have it. You see it crossing on the MACDs, but you could ride this one out. You'll still get a good result. It goes all the way up here until it touches the linear line. 208,000 pip move, so use your lot size accordingly. And then we see it crossing right here, and you see it crossing on the linear line. So this is another signal. Ride this one up till here, till it touches the linear line. You got 180,000 pip move. So these moves last about 19 to 20 days. So they're not They're not an intraday. You have to wait almost a month for these results, for the most part. And then let me just do a couple more, and then we'll go to a smaller time frame. But I personally try to find it on the daily. That's what I look for. I look for it on the daily. So we see that it's crossing up right here, and we see it's crossing up on the linear line. If you ride it out till it touches the linear line, this is a 99,000 pip move. So use your lot size accordingly. And I'll do a couple more here because I want you guys to understand how this works. And you see it crossing on the MACD. You see it crossing with the linear line. You ride it out till it touches the linear line right here. This is 178,945 pip move here in 19 days. Now here's one where you see it crossing down. You can't really tell, but if you come down here, right out from here to here in a sell order, right about here. This is 112,000 pip move in 13 days. So you get the general idea. I try to find it on the daily, and if I don't find it on the daily, then I'll go down to the time frames. So right now, what we can tell about gold is it's probably going down, unless it retraces and going back. Now this is a big question I get toward a lot of people, especially in my Discord, is, okay, it matches, and when do you get out? Well, when you're in the trade, you want to look at where the linear line is to the last candle that's printing. If the candle's getting close to that linear line, you know it's about time to get out. So if it looks like it's getting weaker and it's about to touch that linear line, it's time to get out. So anyway, I always look at the daily. I try to make my moves on the daily, but if I don't find it, I'll go down time frame. So the next one I want to do here is I'll look at the 6 hour, and we'll see what we can find on the 6 hour. So the 6 hour, you see it crossing right here. You see it right about here. You see it crossing, and it touches right about here. So this is a trade right here. You got 3 days and 24,000 pip move. So again, we see it crossing. See, this is an example of a bad trade. What you want to look for, you want to make sure that it is crossing at exactly the same time. So basically, this point up here, when it starts coming down, it needs to already have crossed by now. And I'm not seeing that here. It's still in the upper portion of the MACD. So this is a bad trade in my opinion, because it doesn't start crossing until right about here, which means you lose all that profit. But you do need 2 confirmations for the best results. But you still would have made profit, but it won't be as much. That's why you need to look for them happening at exactly the same time for the best results. So you see that happen again right here. So you got to move right here. A small one, right up here to here. Got 23,000 pip move. So this is what you need to look for, what I try to look for, no matter what time frame you're in. You see it crossing down on the MACD, and you see it going through the linear line at exactly the same time. So this is a long, good trade. And that's how you'll be able to tell if something's going to last and if it's a good trade or not. This is 79,000 pip move in 3.5 days. So real quickly, I think you guys get the general idea on how to look for it in long time frames, and if you don't find it on the weekly, if you don't find it on the daily, if you don't find it on the 6 hour, definitely go. And the smallest one I would do here is the hour. The hour time frame is the smallest I will do for finding the signal. So, and you'll notice that there's more choppiness when you go down into the time frames. It's more choppy. That's why I go to the longer time frames. But I'll show you how to do it on the hour. Maybe I'll show you 15-minute, but 15-minute is really really risky. But right here you see it crossing, and this isn't really, this is kind of choppy right here to get that. And it crosses here. Crosses right here, but you might be able to get in for 5 hours. You made a 7,000 pip move. Right down here, crosses down. So this is a good trade. This is 2 days worth, and it's about an 8,000 pip move. So we want to look for, and we want to look for good moments like this, which are going to be hard to find on the hour. But you see it crossing here, and you see it crossing on the linear line, and you ride it out till here. This is 12 hours, and it's a 30,000 pip move. So you get the idea. But real quickly, I'm going to show you how to do this intraday, which is, it's the smaller you go in time frames, the harder it's going to be. But I'll show you on the 15-minute here what you want to look for. And now these are quick. These are quick in and outs. These are not hold for a long period of time. See it crossing down right here, and you could get in for right here. You see it. Write it out till here. And this is a 6,000 pip move in not too long, couple hours. And you see it happen again. I mean, it goes up and down a lot on a 15-minute. And keep in mind, if you're doing this on a longer time frame, it's going to be going up and down, and it's going to be facing a lot of choppy moments. But I don't see anything happening here. This is not a good trade. Okay, so we see it crossing down here, and we see it crossing down on the linear line at exactly the same time. So this is a good trade right here if you write it out. And this is about a 7,000 pip move. So we see it crossing right here. And then we ride this one out till it touches the linear line. This is a 4,000 pip move. So right here we see it crossing down, so that you know that this one's a good move because they're both happening at exactly the same time. And you ride it out till it touches the linear line, which is, this is about an 11,000 pip move. And these are, let's just see how long it took to make this move right here. This move here to here is 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it really depends on what the market's doing, how the market's reacting to things. Right here we see it. Well, it's kind of late on this one, but I'll take it. Right out from here to here. And this is a 10,000 pip move in 3 hours and 45 minutes. So you can notice that the smaller time frame you go, the more choppy it is. That's why my default setting here is to do it on the day. Do it on the day, look where it's at, and even though if you find the signal on the day, it's still going to be very volatile because gold is a volatile asset. But I look for it on the day. It's my personal opinion, it's worth the wait when you find it on the day, because all these moments of getting in, you have to wait on certain. It's not intraday, but to me, it's worth it. See, to get moves like this, to find moves like this, where it's crossing down, and right here, crossing down, write it out, and to get a 59,000 pip move in 9 days, to me, is worth the wait. It's worth the wait to find the bigger moments. So anyway, gold is one of the most volatile assets out there. I recommend when you're trading gold, look for it on the weekly, see if there's anything, see if it's matching on the weekly. It's not going to happen a lot, but I personally, if I wanted to trade gold, I would check weekly first and see if it's happening on weekly. If you don't see it on weekly, which it's not going to happen a lot, every once in a while, but every day take a practice and see if it's crossing on the weekly. If you do find it crossing on the weekly, you have a very good chance of riding that out for a very long time and catching a big run. If you don't see it on the weekly, definitely go to the daily. The daily is my default it's worth the wait for me to find signals on the daily, because you can find all the big moves. If you don't find it on the daily, then definitely go to the 6 hour for the next one. And then if bare minimum, I do it on the hour. But anything lower than that will be very choppy. It will be very hard to find intraday type moves with this strategy. But anyway, this strategy does work very well. It helps you find all those big moments. So anyway, if you guys want to learn more, definitely I have a Discord, check below. It's for free. I go over certain moments in charts with using these strategies, and I point out certain moments with assets. If you guys want to join my Discord, link will be below in my comments if you want to join. It's for free. I will be pointing out different assets that I see that could be potential of a good run. As well, you have a one-on talk with me if you want to interact with me more on a daily basis. Anyway, other than that, if you like this strategy, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.